What's up? This is Edwin Langett with another Chick Detective for you, with a little bit of football for you. There was like the 90s, right? When I grew up, I was probably like 90s, I was like 10 to 20. It was hella cool. It was nothing but picnics and barbecues and shit like that. 4th of July, I used to always wait for 4th of July because like there would be a summertime kicking it with all the teenagers and all the 21-year-olds. I was always chopping it up with the 21-year-olds because I was the king of the 21-year-olds when I was a little kid. So I had a lot of friends, and then all the girls that were 21 when I was like 13 and 15 were my daughters because I just turned to a little kid, right? So I would meet my daughters, and then a lot of girls from the East Coast that are housewives, or the girls in Playboys were my girlfriends too. Like go out with all the girls. Uh, there was a like lore. Lore was a like galore or gaylord. Like he was my friend too, but there was sometimes there was spunk with niggas like that. But lore, as in Lauren Conrad, they would used to bring around Sinai just for C, just for the Conrad, and then Lizelle and Sinai was like a Lauren Conrad print, nigga. So like Kendra, if you were married to Edwin, I'm like Edwin that you talk to on Girls Next Door. When that's how I know you, right, Kendra? But I got your ring with the ecstasy pills on the side of it. A lot of girls probably broke up and then you're waiting to get back. I don't like nigga Hoodie's getting with you. That's me, Hoodie. Uh, there was a lot of what's the deal or what to do, man. There used to be like hectity, like ecstasy, hecka timing, and for sure niggas got perved and off the yak. So yak is supposed to be Hennessy, YAK, off the yak for cognac, for CONAC or cognac, however how you spell it, cognac. And then I think yak is supposed to be like the girl getting with you. It's supposed to be yak. It's like that. Or Beoctin or binockers, nigga. Girls that be knocking on hood, nigga. Jumping from players to haters or even like other personalities that you get with, but just can't to be by folks or anything like. Just a lot of games of words and like solved and hater and there's a lot of shit. But back then there was picnics, man. I used to go to picnics to see the girls. And everywhere I go is to see a girl. Sometimes seeing a girl could get you into a lot of trouble. So like I told you, I'm a movie star, dude. And then if a girl comes here, you'll be in a movie starring with me. Then whatever name they name, I might get it straight. Both straight because I'm straight because I was really goosing Eileen. But it would be a movie. So I don't know if Katrina or Genevieve could play like 007 or even a comedy or shit like that. But it ends up being a porno if we do it, and it's for rent on Spice TV. But I would be on the real missions, man. And then the missions are in North Point, Quartz Lane, Micah, or even on Gateway. Would be the real missions. And sometimes I wouldn't see Michael for 3 years because I was hanging out with Billy and Mike. And then when Mike and Billy come around, Richie would, I would see Richie somehow, which would me kicking with the Manuel family again. So I don't come around the Manuel family sometimes for 3 years or 4 years. I'd be hanging out with my friends because my mom let me hang out with my friends and shit. So, but the Manuel family had girls. It had Marites, it had Jessica, it had Sina, it had Marnie, and it had Auntie Marlon and Auntie Mo and Jennifer and Janet and Jonah. The Manuel family. When I was young, they were the prettiest girls in the world because the Manuels were known for having the prettiest girls. I don't know now if they switched them or what, but then the real girls should still be pretty. And then I don't know, like my friends and my family was supposed to be time for me kicking it as the Godfather, but being the Godfather, like the hardest gangster in New York and Chicago and San Francisco, since you're that hard, you should be able to be a military officer and a fucking secret agent. That's what I do, and a cop. So I had different jobs going to Kata. Every time wasn't for the mafia. I would go to Kata or San Andreas or Quartz Lane in a military mission, and people would be captured. And when the mission's done, make friends and just be out. I'll be out and about, and then a lot of times I would be in Iraq and they would send me to Qatar because that was where the problem was in World War II. So I would do that, and then they would try to get Genevieve in the movie, and Genevieve comes through. She goes to Marcello though, so like I said, she goes to Marcello, and then ecstasy and weed and bomb and shit like that. I used to drink St. Ides, dude, all the time because St. Ides is what the black people drank. So I drank St. Ides, and the black people drank Mickey's, so I drank Mickey's. So I used to copy a lot of black people when I was young. They were 18 or 20. But the 21-year-old black people smoke weed. I smoke weed with them or hang out with black people. When I was young, I hung out with some black people, but there was times I was in the mafia, so I would kick with the mafia and I would kick with the real made men in the mafia. So my whole life was kicking it with all the real made men in the mafia, like Mike, Flo, Billy, Michael Yuma, Anthony, James. So I would be like at times where I would kick with my friends. And then Billy and Mike were already tired or couldn't do nothing no more. So I had to go back to the Manuel family and get the blood spattered brides in the Manuel family. Because there was for sure blood spattered brides. Because I'm the Godfather, I got blood spattered brides. That's how you run things. Later on in my life, they just started disrespecting me as the Godfather. And then a lot of people say they're a Godfather, but they're not, and shit like that. Because they can't lie to me. One thing, first of all, in the mafia, you got to be able to eat spaghetti, dog, if you're Italian. When I be at Uncle Jesse's house, and then my cousin goes, "You guys are Italian because you eat food?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you, Filipino? We just pretend to be Filipino because we're the mafia," you know what I'm saying? Because all the real Italians look Filipino. So whatever race looks Filipino, it's like Italian, dude. And then I was in my life, like there's a point why I just stopped claiming Filipino because I'm really Italian and shit, right? I'm Sicilian. But Filipino is an Italian race, really. So I'll go back to that. I don't want to be different from shit like that. But back then, the Filipinos were the hardest, and I think they still are the hardest because I look Filipino. And then if you come at me crazy, then I'm really Sicilian, dog, and an angel. So my whole life, I'm an angel. I'm the Archangel of Mercy, Lucifer Lanet. And my girlfriend is an angel. So I'm just trying to stop niggas from popping at my girlfriend. Because, like, my son will be born. So I be going there, and then, like, nigga, they have bitches, nigga. The Manuel family, there's fucking bitches at the fucking house, and I'm all related to them like that. And then when they got married, I was just like, yo, is there a Marilyn Manuel? Because there's Marilyn Langit, and there's Violetta Langit, and there's Marnie Langit. So when they go with someone, I'm like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. There's a normal Marnie and there's a normal Marilyn, which you could tell by now, and a normal May and normal Veronica. Because they showed them to me, right? Because if they're in the Kama Sutra, Veronica and Eileen and Lacey and Genevieve are supposed to be 21 years old, right? Or 18. But if there's a May and Heather, I already seen a fat Heather, right? Heather Felton, she's skinny, right? A supermodel. And she came through here too, right? But they erased my mind. I seen them. So now, nigga, there's girls that are of their race, nigga. And I was just like, whoa, this is a fucking trip, nigga. Because the funniest thing about it was, like, I would go out and kick with Billy and kick with Katrina and Genevieve and Michelle. But other than that, when they stopped coming around, you could always go to your family and tweak, dog. Because what I do when I tweak is fantasize about girls. That's why I always hit the fucking shit. I fantasize about girls when I tweak. When everyone is sleeping, I fucking fake sleep and just fantasize, nigga. Because your eyes are closed. You can't do anything else but fantasize. And then that's why I like girls my whole life, because when I tweak, I could be with them in the fantasy. Like some girls I knew my whole life, you never saw them naked and shit. So you get to fantasize about them and see them for real. That's what when I tweak. That's what I do when I tweak and when I get high too. Sometimes I get high and I don't tweak. Like, people don't know I tweak because I try to cover it up. Because what I do when I tweak, I fantasize about girls. That's what I do when I tweak. So if people are trying to say they're me, saying they're Edwin or Game Tide or Crizzo, I don't think you're me, dog. Because I spent fucking 20 years of my life tweaking, fantasizing about girls, dog. In a top 10 fucking list, nigga. Like a fucking movie, nigga. The life that I wish I had with girls. Nigga, that's what I fucking do. Just fucking fantasize, hit the shit, and this is what my life should be like. And then to get the Kama Sutra started. So if niggas are pretending to be me or saying they're me, dude, are you sure you fantasize about like fucking Marnie and Genevieve and Hillary Duff? That's what I do. I just fantasize about Hillary Duff off the tweet and shit like that. So I always like jack off because I fantasize the whole night and shit like that. So it would turn up to be the night they dropped me home. Mike and Richie used to drop me home. And then once they dropped me home, nigga, I fucking record pornos and fucking tweet, nigga. Look at magazines and tweak, nigga. And fantasize about girls. If you don't know, you could fantasize on the shit. I probably hide that too, nigga. But I used to have a list of top 10 girls. Fuck, you know. The top 10 girls that I like. And then that was like my secret. They used to call me serial killer and killer. They didn't know I had that shit. Like fucking that movie, they try to say a shrine. So me and Sinai were like, whoa. But actually, it's all the top 10 girls I love. So if you ever find that list, nigga, it's actually the list of the mafia. You know how there's Corleone, Lucchese, Bonanno family, but it's the last names of the real mafia girls in the mafia, because their son was the first son. That's why I was just writing on it, because like I told you, I'm Hoodie, and I never had a girlfriend, and then my son is supposed to be the Don. Okay, and then so like, if you have a kid with me and he's supposed to be the Don, I don't know how you're stopping the past, but the one that never had a girlfriend, me, my son is supposed to be the Don. And there's a rumor that he's supposed to be God or the Antichrist, but I'm God and the Antichrist. So if you want to know what my deep darkest secret is, it might be that list of fucking girls. But when they called me serial killer, I think because they poisoned me to heal me. But no one knew I had that shit. But some people do know I have it. That's why they fucking protect me and shit like that. But it was just the girl I liked and shit like that. And then that's what I did when I tweaked, dude. I tweak off girls, nigga, and shit like that. And then I like the girl and I fantasize about her, and then I see her in real life at the family party. Like, if you just know, like, the girls I liked were at the family party, and then I meet them for real, and I spit game, but game doesn't get you nowhere, dude. Spitting game, fucking macking on bitches never got me anywhere with a fucking girl. That's why I'm single to this fucking day. And then lingerie, freaky lingerie, or fucking makeup to cake up. They just fucking hated. And niggas just hated. I don't know if they put me on truth serum or what, but I don't think people knew I had that shit. But if you're in the mafia, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, this nigga's probably on truth serum saying this shit. Like, if they're trying to find out about hits or anything, or how the mafia is ran, like, that paper, dog, it's... In the Kama Sutra, those are the girls that are in the Kama Sutra, nigga. You got a list of blood spattered brides. And then I heard over the last 4 years that there was a rumor going around, I think in the 90s. I just heard the rumor like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that there's a rumor that there's a paper with all your bitches. So I was like, what, nigga? So I was like, my whole life, I knew that no one knows that you're doing that when you tweak except for the mob, right? And then like that. And it's really the last names of the mafia in Sicily, the families in Sicily. And then I heard, because there was a rumor that there's a paper with all your bitches. So they must have been looking for that shit. Because if you did do something, because if you knew about it or showed the world, you would ruin my reputation like a Hillary Duff and shit. But if girls just want to know what the real top 10 list is, it's really just number 1 finest girl to number 10 finest girl. That was it. But anyways, I had to protect my family. You know, like Michael Corleone says, I spent years protecting my family. That's the way I chose to protect the mafia, was with that list of girls. And a lot of people would want that list of girls. I don't know what it got to do with your trial, if you needed a trial or anything. But it was just the girls that I liked when I was a teenager. So it was a list of all my true loves. Because there's true loves. Hillary Duff, Benica, Haley, Ashley, Kate, and then what's her name? Avril Lavigne and Christina Aguilera. But that was a list of this era after turning to a little kid who's top 10 to hood rat. Nigga, that's what it was. Dog, true love.